Spencer Lewis here, hanging out at Sunset Speedway, and I'm with my man, driver the number 57, Canadian Vintage Modified, Steve Trendell. And Steve, you have the distinction, my friend, of being the first ever Canadian Vintage Modified driver interviewed for Inside Track TV. We're here hanging out, and you just sort of gave me a starter course on the Canadian Vintage Modifieds. This is an incredible piece here. Tell me a little bit about this chassis and what you've got for power here.
The chassis was built in 1988 by Flamborough late model specialist Jake Shaw. It's been through the ranks. Nothing's changed on it. We bought it back in 2000. My dad ran it for 2 years, and then I took over in 2002 when I was 15. It's got a 240 inline six, makes about 300 horsepower. It's a full-blown race engine.
Now you got the inline six. A lot of guys are starting to sort of slowly transition into the crate motors. Tell me a little bit of the pros and cons of both. I mean, for the lifeblood of the series, for it to continue on, is the crate motor something that you guys are going to have to look into heading into the future?
A few years down the road, we'll have to look into the crate motor. They're the wave of the future for short track racing if you want to survive. I personally like the inlines, the way that they sound. They're unique. No one else sounds like them in Ontario. They're very competitive. We got them balanced between the crates and the inline sixes. They're balanced out perfect. Anyone can win on any night, and it's pretty fair right now.
Now you jumped into the CBMs, like you said, when you were 15. You came out of the go-kart ranks, and you were a stud go-karter. Blow your own horn a little bit. Tell me a little bit about the accomplishments you had behind the wheel of a go-kart.
It helps you out a lot with car control, because you always got to keep the go-kart straight. Teaches you how to be smooth with the steering wheel, and it's basically a go-kart on steroids. That's how I explain it.
Now you guys get to go across the province, Sunset, Delaware. I mean, you're based out of Flamborough. What's your favorite joint to go to on the CBM tour?
Sunset's right up there. I love the old surface. I like the old track, but the new one just blows everything in Canada, and I'd say Canada-wide out of the water right now. I really love Sauble. Turn 1 and 2 is way different than turn 3 and 4, so it's one of my favorite tracks. These are tied for the best tracks.
Now you mentioned the Canadian Vintage Modifieds. One of the allures of the tours is affordable touring. Crunch some numbers for me for some of our viewers that might not know how much it costs to put one of these on the track. Tell me a little bit about the financial backing, what it takes to get one of these rolling.
You can buy a car usually for around $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. That's a roller. You can get them for 10 with a motor in them usually. But if you want, you can go to a crate motor. It costs you like $4 grand. So about $11,000 to $12,000. You're race ready. A tire, you go through one of those maybe every 2-3 races, and they're only $125 a piece. So it's very affordable to do these cars.
Now, when the Canadian Vintage Modifieds roll into a track across the province, who are some of the guys that we need to keep an eye on?
Steve Lyons, he's been tough this year. He's got that car pretty stout. Jason Keane in the 18. Corey Jones, the 82 with that crate, he's got that thing rolling really good. I'm hoping to spoil them all tonight and put it in victory lane.
Now I know all this isn't possible without a lot of sponsorship support, no matter what you're driving, whether it's a super late model, a modified, or a CBM. Go ahead and thank the people that get you to the racetrack.
I'd like to thank Bill Pearsall at Ponderosa Nature Resort. They're our title sponsor. Pete and Becky Simpson at Combined Truck and Auto in Cambridge. They're a big backer. Mark Simmons, Primerica Financial Services, and Flamborough Machine Shop. They're our go-to.
Now I know you're a big social media guy. How can the fans keep up with you on social media, my friend?
You can follow me on Twitter at Trendell Racing, Instagram at Trendell Racing, and I also just created a Facebook page, Trendell Racing.
There you go, buddy. Well, best of luck the rest of 2013, and hopefully you can rattle off a win here at Sunset.
Great, thanks, Spence.
There you go, folks. Driver the number 57 Canadian Vintage Modified is Steve Trendell.